doll.
Well, she's picked her up and taken me.
There once was a doll up on the shelf. She had climbed up there all by herself. See, it was too painful down on the floor, so she decided that she didn't want to play anymore. She climbed up high and tried to hide, blocked out all the pain, pushed it deep inside. Then he came along and noticed her there. He tried to keep walking but couldn't help but stare. He reached for her. She shied away. It was familiar there and she wanted to stay. But he saw the value in her, so he persisted. She had been hurt enough and strongly resisted. He was determined and turned on the charm, swore that he was different and that he meant no harm. She gave in and put herself within his reach and prayed that this unspoken contract he would not breach. But that prayer went unanswered and pain came quick. See, she was just another conquest. He had been just talking slick.
Wow.
He wanted her to stay on the shelf, but no longer out of sight, to watch him play all day and be ready for him at night. For a while she tried and pretended it didn't hurt. It got to a point that she couldn't see him for all of his dirt. And yet she held on like a good little doll, stayed in her lane, answered every call, silently watching as he played with toy after toy.
Jesus.
Hoping he'd finally grow to a man from a boy. She saw his potential, the life that he could claim, but he couldn't see it, and that was a shame. While he was playing and moving his toys all around, she had started climbing back up and was far off the ground. You see, she had decided it was safer on the shelf, away from prying eyes, that it was better to put on a mask and wear a disguise that said, I don't need love, it's useless and outdated, kind of like an old movie, you know, underviewed and overrated.
Well,
He was so busy he didn't see what was going on until the day he looked around and his favorite doll was gone. He looked where he had found her, but she knew better than to hide there. He could have found her if he had searched, but he really didn't care. There were so many other dolls that were blocking his view that he forgot all his promises, all the things that he said he would do. Like a spoiled kid, he wanted to claim that the doll was at fault, that he had tried his best and didn't deserve her verbal assault. He knew that wasn't the case, but he would never admit the truth. He didn't really want one doll, and that was his best excuse. He wanted to be able to play with every toy in the store. He didn't want just one at home that he had to protect and provide for. So the doll that was broken lost yet another piece and learned that she couldn't trust little boys where commitment was concerned. Now back on the shelf, she began to collect dust and wondered if there was anyone that she would ever be able to trust. The toy maker came along. See, he knew her hiding place, mended her dress and washed her face, put together all the pieces that she thought she had lost, did it all freely because his son had already paid the cost. When he was done with the repairs, he held her close to his heart, told her to forget the past, that it was time for a new start. He reassured her that not everyone was like that selfish little boy, and that he would one day entrust her to someone who would give her great joy. She wanted to believe him, but it was kind of hard. He had fixed her up, but she still held on to those old scars. But he took her off his workbench and put her on display for the world to see, and whispered, don't worry, my child, because you were made for me.
woo!